Hello, Alan Real here. I'm going to weigh in on the current debate in the Catholic Church right now about about the death penalty, and there is a debate. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Um, and I'm going to tell you the role that Vatican II plays in the debate. Now, Vatican II actually doesn't mention the death penalty, so that's interesting. And since Pope Pius X, the last pope to come out with a catechism prior to the council, says the death penalty is okay. And Pope Pius XII, the last pope who lived and died before the council started, said it was okay. There are some charlatans online who say, oh, he called for clemency in a couple cases, but clemency is not saying that the death penalty is inadmissible. It's just saying, please don't use it in this case because we don't think it's good, and any good thing can be abused. So I'm going to show that Vatican II actually supports the Catholic position, the position that the death penalty is okay, and the again, it does not bring it up, but the Council of Trent didn't bring up the papacy, since everyone up to Trent believed in the papacy and they didn't say anything positive or negative. That just proves that the people at the council were pro-papacy. So, and of course, all the Protestants had denied papal authority. So, but it actually goes a bit better than that. There's actually a spot in Gaudium et Spes, which is the document we're going to look at, where it would have perfectly fit. It would have fit like a glove. And the modern and the current theologians at the Vatican know this. And I'm going to show you. So let's start by taking a look at Gaudium et Spes. Just let me. All right. All right. Here we go. Here's Gaudium et Spes. Paragraph section 27 is what we're going to look at. The first two paragraphs aren't too important. I'll go over them anyway. It says, coming down to practical and particularly urgent consequences, the council lays stress on reverence for man. Everyone must consider his neighbor without exception on as another self, taking into account first of all his life and the means necessary to living it with dignity, so as not to imitate the rich man who had no concern for the poor man Lazarus. In our times, a special obligation binds us to make ourselves the neighbor of every person without exception, and of actively helping him when he comes across our path, whether he be an old person abandoned by all, a foreign laborer unjustly looked down upon, a refugee, a child born to an unlawful union and wrongly suffering for a sin he did not commit, or a hungry person who disturbs our conscience by recalling the voice of the Lord. As long as you did it for one of these, the least of my brethren, you did it for me. Now, this final paragraph here is the most important. We're going to take a look at this. And this is where the death penalty could have easily been mentioned. Furthermore, whatever is opposed to life itself, such as any type of murder, genocide, abortion, euthanasia, or willful self-destruction, I think they're talking about suicide there, whatever violates the integrity of the human person, such as mutilation, torments inflicted on body or mind, I think they're referring to torture there, attempts to coerce the will itself, whatever insults human dignity, such as subhuman living conditions, arbitrary imprisonment, deportation, slavery, prostitution, the selling of women and children, as well as disgraceful working conditions where men are treated as mere tools for profit rather than as free and responsible persons. All these things and others of their like are infamies indeed. They poison human society, but they do more harm to those who practice them than those who suffer from the injury. Moreover, they are supreme dishonor to the Creator. So a lot of sins are mentioned here: genocide, abortion, euthanasia, uh, etc., etc. Tons are mentioned. I have not counted how many things are mentioned, but quite a bit. But the death penalty is not mentioned at all. Now, just remember, this is Gaudium et Spes, chapter 27. Now, I'm going to pop up another document here. Um, Okay. Let me just find the thing here. Just give me a moment here. Okay, this is the 2024 document called Dignitatis Infinita. It's by the Dicastery of the Doctrine of the Faith, headed by Cardinal Fernandez, and the document was approved by Pope Francis. And Francis and Fernandez are against the death penalty and say it's inadmissible. All right, now, paragraph 34 is the key. Just let me zoom in. Well, I think that's the best we'll get it. In addressing some of the grave violations of human dignity today, we can draw upon the teachings of the Second Vatican Council, which emphasized that all offenses against life itself, such as murder, genocide, abortion, euthanasia, and willful suicide, must be recognized as contrary to human dignity. That sounds familiar. Let's check on the footnote to see where it's from. Second Vatican Ecumenical Council, Pastoral Constitution, Gaudium et Spes, number 27. Right? That's just what we read from. And quotes 54 and 55 are from there as well. Let's go back up. Furthermore, the Council affirmed that all violations of the integrity of the human person, such as mutilation, physical and mental torture, undue psychological pressures, close quote, also infringe upon our dignity. Footnote 54 is a continuation of 53. The Second Vatican Council, the Gaudium et Spes, section 27. Let's continue. Finally, it denounced, meaning the council, all offenses against human dignity, such as subhuman living conditions, arbitrary imprisonment, deportation, slavery, prostitution, selling of women and children, degrading working conditions where individuals are treated as mere tools for profit rather than free and responsible persons, close quote. Source number 55 continues from 53, Gaudium et Spes, section 27. Let's go back up. All right. Now they're like, here, one should also mention the death penalty. For this also violates the inalienable dignity of every person, regardless of the circumstances. Okay, footnote 56. Whoa, we're no longer at Gaudium et Spes. We're at the Catechism Change document from 2018. Let's go back. In this regard, we must recognize that the firm rejection of the death penalty shows to what extent it is possible to recognize the inalienable dignity of every human being and to accept that he or she has a place in this universe. If I do not deny that dignity to the worst criminals, I will not deny it to anyone. I will give everyone the possibility of sharing this planet with me despite our differences. 57. What's 57? Fratelli Tutti, Pope Francis, October 2020. So, what do we see here? It's talking about violations against human dignity. It's quoting Vatican II ad nauseum, the section we did. But then it has to go elsewhere to more recent stuff from 2018 and 2020 for the death penalty. So what we can see here is Vatican II, although it doesn't directly mention it, it supports the death penalty because paragraph or section 27 was the perfect area to insert it if the council fathers believed in it or believed it was a violation of human dignity, which they did not. Now, what's my point of this video? The point is, in this death penalty debate, it should be known that the people who say this is inadmissible don't have Vatican II on their side. And that's why they can't quote Vatican II. And Vatican II had the perfect opportunity to condemn the death penalty as a violation of human dignity, but it did not. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you today. And hopefully this helps advance the debate on the death penalty. And if you support what Francis said, not infallibly, obviously, on the death penalty, ask yourself, why didn't Vatican II say that, especially when it talks about a ton of other things that violate human dignity. Thanks for watching. God bless.